it's time for you now.
I'd been putting off a 31 lesson course review for weeks. I handed it to Fable. It got it done in 29 minutes, but it ran through 80% of my daily message. Human in the Loop starts now.
Sash.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I am doing good. You're looking football festive.
Happy World Cup Friday, man.
Happy World Cup
I
Friday.
live for the World Cup. 5 hours from now, I'm gonna be in a soccer bar in downtown Atlanta, maybe splashing beer up everywhere, depending on how the game goes. I love it, man. But apparently that's not the World Cup's not the only big thing that's announced this week, is it?
No, it isn't. It isn't. There's another thing called Fable 5.
Fable, is that the video game? I remember playing Fable on the Xbox way back in the day. Is this the same thing or a little different?
It's new. It's new. It's got its own brain, and it's a younger cousin to Mythos 5.
Ooh, it's interesting to hear you say Mythos. I've always pronounced it Mythos in my head, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what's right, but it's always like when two people read something, right? Like we all say it different in our heads, and it's just
I don't know what it is. It might be Mythos.
I don't know.
Mythos. I don't know.
I'm only gonna hear Mythos now. By the way, thanks to you.
Yeah, just sound a little more dramatic.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
All right, so yeah, man, Cloud Mythos 5. It was this big.
Yep. And it's what we use. It's what we use actually when we hang up to get this onto YouTube, to transcribe it and do all that. Yeah. As it does. Why wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's routed to Opus 4.8, so you won't get a response from Fable 5 on that. And that's kind of the biggest kind of guardrail around it. It is twice as expensive as Opus 4.8. And it is available under the subscriptions up until June 22nd. If you're running a Pro or a Max, subscription is bundled under that till June 22nd. After June 22nd, it moves to usage credits, which means you'll pay, if you use Fable 5, you're going to pay the API cost along with your subscription. So it's a pricey model.
Hey, Sash, I just technical difficulties. I learned that nobody could hear you for the first 2 minutes that we were talking. They could only hear me. So start back at the beginning. Sorry about that. I think we're still learning how to do the manual stuff. The AI part's good. But tell us just a 1 minute recap of what it is we're talking about today.
Yeah, so we're talking about Fable 5, which was the safeguarded version of Mythos 5 released by Anthropic this month. Mythos 5 was this model which found bugs in 30-year-old code bases, and Anthropic thought it would be a threat if that model landed in the hands of adversaries. It could basically result in massive cybersecurity issues, which is why that model was released in private to a small group of companies, and they were testing it, and they're fixing their bugs in their sort of software products, and the goal is cyber defense. This week, they released a safeguarded version of that for commercial use for Claude users. It's available as a part of Claude Pro, Claude Max subscriptions. It's called Fable 5. It is a model that is built for long-running tasks. It's very autonomous, it's very agentic, and it is twice as expensive as 4.8, Opus 4.8. So
expensive.
That's kind of what we're talking about. Yeah, it is pricey.
It is expensive. Cool.
Yep. So what did I do with it? I have been, you guys know I teach courses, and the course is kind of going through evolution. It's going through a different format change. And I've been sitting on this lesson review. I had to review about 31 lessons, which are all sitting in MD files. And I had to review each of them. Like with Opus, I tried it. And the goal was to read all 31 lessons, hold it in context, change the format for the timing based on certain instructions I made them, and update instructions for Claude Code and Core, which means Opus had to go research Anthropic documents, find the right instructions, and update the course material. That was the goal. Opus 4.1, I tried it last week, 2 weeks ago. It ran into a lot of context issues, and I'm like, I'll take care of this.
I was reading I know you wrote about this in your dispatch emails that Sash plug come out twice a week. One he writes on Thursday, one his agent Neuro writes on Sunday. They are freaking awesome. So I was reading the one yesterday that you wrote, and you were saying that, and I could very much relate with the, all right, I'm going to do this, I'm excited, and then you're like, damn, man, like, okay, I don't have the mental capacity to bug fix. All right, that's a later task. So I see why you kept putting it off. But where did you see a difference with Fable?
So the Fable was released Tuesday evening, and on the screen, I basically launched the task. It was released Tuesday afternoon, and I launched the task Tuesday evening. I basically gave it this prompt. It's not a very organized prompt. It's a very messy prompt.
Fable. Yeah, man.
Sup, Fable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it said, hey, man. So I just start there. I'm like, okay. By the way, this is the same session for that task, which I tried with Opus. So I resumed that session in Claude Code, flipped the model from Opus to Fable. So it had context of what the question was. Then I gave it this prompt. This is what I want. I want you to read the course content. First, find interactive touch points, suggest interactive points. Then find, experiments that the students can perform based on the capstone. To give you an idea, it's about 40 MD files you had to read, 40 MD files sitting on it. And I said, capiche? He said, capiche. Okay, I'm going to start. And the first thing it did, it created a log file. It automatically creates this log file and starts logging what it's doing. And I didn't ask it to create that log file. First, it says creates a work log, and then starts the session, created a folder called review, and started taking notes into that folder. Confirmed the scope, 31 lesson files, 5 project files. It spread across a bunch of folders. It found everything. And then it threw a bunch of questions for me before it got started. So it said, these are the decisions. Give me yes, no, and flag anything that's important. I responded, and off it goes. It ran for about 26 minutes, and it was doing a bunch of stuff in the background. I could see it moving files. It was constantly loading in and out in context. And at the end of 26 minutes, it stopped and asked me a couple questions. It wasn't done yet. And I took a screenshot 16 minutes in, which looked, this was my daily usage limit, 16 minutes in. It was on a 1 million context window, 41% use, which means it was holding about 400,000 tokens of data. And 16 minutes, it's run through 67% of my 5x max plan. But it was cranking along, man.
Yeah.
And so 26 minutes, it asks him a couple questions. I respond, and then a little back and forth. But all in all, a total sort of execution time of 29 minutes. It rewrote everything. Some lessons it wrote from scratch. it pulled research from Anthropic documents around specific how to configure this kind of, technical instructions. And then some lessons it updated, just like very surgical edits. But at the end, it took me about 2 days to review all that work. I didn't have to change anything. It got it done. It got it done. It didn't make a lot of mistakes. So in that total session, this is what was the total output. It used 665,000 output tokens. So that's why it ran through almost 80% of my daily limits. Longest running group was 29 minutes, 137 file operations. It fired up 6 subagents. They were researching and some were writing. And it had about 21 messages for me. The crazy part, it made only 3 tool errors in all of this. Opus would make errors, but it kind of would skip it, and I would have to catch it. You've probably seen that, Chris.
Yeah, it's like if you, I feel like anyone, if you just sit there and watch Claude or any AI thing execute, like, I don't know about you, and I'm assuming we're all in the same boat. Like, I just see errors left and right. Like, how someone says error, and then it'll figure it out, right? Like, it's very rarely. I feel like do I see an error that has me do something? But it's clear that they are happening regularly. This is mind blowing. I haven't had a chance to play with Fable yet. It's on my list, but just hearing that, like, you're seeing very rare tool errors is it really is. It's mind blowing.
It was, and this is kind of, it's going through this, right? This is just the raw session. All I'm seeing on this terminal window, it's working for 29 minutes. It's just making edits. It's adding stuff to files, removing stuff for files. And one thing I'll say, if there was a way, and I don't think it's a model problem. I think I would love to see this in the harness. Like, stop, pause, give me an update, Tell me where you are. For 26 minutes when you're running in the background, my only visibility is this little terminal window where it can see what agents it's pulling up.
And you have to look for the right things and all of that. Yeah.
You have to
no doubt.
Yeah. So I would like
do you think you could prompt that?
I could, maybe. But again, then it becomes the attention problem, right? Is it paying attention to that rule that I asked it to stop?
I mean. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know.
Let me ask you this on a related thing. I think one thing that really stands out to me is what you said is how often it is asking you questions.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I have started doing, like, I've been using like the superpowers plugin, and I've been using brainstorming as part of thing. That's one thing I love, right?
Yeah.
If you're in plan mode, it'll always ask you some questions. Brainstorm will ask you some questions. Was there a certain kind of category of questions you were finding Fable asking you more often? Was it kind of coming in semi-regularly and doing it? Was it disrupting any of the autonomy?
Yeah, that's a great question. The most questions it asked me as it is working through, if it had to pause to make a decision where it felt like I have to give my input, it was actually very strategic. It just didn't stop to ask me, where's this file? Where should I write?
Yeah.
It was like, I found this particular thing in lesson X from week 3, which is contradicting with this lesson. Which one do you want to keep? Which means it's holding all of that. Yeah, it was holding all of that in context. So, and this is something which on the screen you'll see. This is a graph on the Fable 5 blog, which Anthropic put out. This is a measurement of accuracy versus cost. With Fable, the longer the tasks are, and if you choose like the effort of thinking, the higher effort you think, the accuracy actually increases. For longer running transactions, it had more accuracy, which is kind of weird to kind of think about it, because Opus, if it runs for long, it's holding 400,000 tokens in one single context window, going back and forth, it starts making errors.
Man, see, I don't feel like I'm a conspiracist, Sash, but now I'm like, is this Anthropic by design being like, hey man, create longer context windows, you'll burn through more tokens, but it'll get smarter.
Yeah, and how it does it is it says, if you choose effort X high, so this is effort. So effort is like, if you go in your terminal if you choose effort, that's what the effort scale is for any Claude model, right? High is default. If you choose X or X high or max, you burn more tokens. But Fable, if you choose that, it rechecks its work more. So the longer it is working, it validates its work more, which is why it's making less errors. That's phenomenal because
and why it's set up for
like,
long running tasks.
Exactly. It's actually a very thoughtfully engineered model. Now, it has safeguards. Now, imagine if they unleash the full power of like Mythos grade power. It's incredible.
This is awesome. Do you have any ideas of where you're gonna look at Fable to what you're gonna use Fable next for?
Yeah, so be careful. This is something you and I were just talking about this. Try to use Fable for very long-running, like complex tasks. Don't use it to organize your downloads folder. You're just gonna burn through tokens for no reason. So find your most complex tasks, build a plan, and then you give it to Fable, and it will probably get you much better results than using Opus 4.8. Cost, be mindful. After Jan 22nd, it goes to API pricing, which means it's 2x cost than 4.8. Until then, if you are on a pro subscription, you're probably it's gonna eat through your limits very fast.
Right.
But if you're on a 5x max, 20x max, think of your most complex task that's on deck. If coding, building, whatever it is, it's gonna do that. So plan it first. Ask Fable to build a plan, and then once it's built a plan, execute it. So tell it the outcome. Start with the outcome. Tell it exactly what you want. Have it reverse engineer a plan from that. It's actually very good at doing that. It's better than Opus at doing that.
Yeah,
so,
I'm thinking in that space, like, cause I use like Claude plan mode a lot, even like within like brain superpowers, the brainstorming and the writing plans. That I was kind of torn whether to just like not use plan mode and just kind of give everything to Opus and let it run with it, or to give it an output. And I'm interested to see like how it works with like plan mode. One, just building a plan with Fable, I want to test out. And then you and I talk about like I use /goal all the time now, and I'm really curious to see like is one. I mean, I know that Fable's going to be better, but like, should I be using Fable with goal mode? Is that going to make it more auto autonomous? That's where I want to play with.
Well, all the Anthropic engineers are now talking about loop engineering. Even Peter Steinberger is talking about loop engineering. So I think this model might be good for something like that. Yeah, put it on /goal. Give it a go and let it loop through. Don't watch your daily limits kind of slider because you're going to get anthropanic. I felt anthropanic after a while using Fable.
I believe it.
So it is an expensive model, but I think that would do well. That would do well. Fable would do well there.
I'm gonna play it with it and report back. Good stuff, man. I'm glad we got to squeeze this in. I know we had something else planned for today, but when an announcement like this comes out, you throw all your plans in the window and what does Peyton Manning say? Omaha. That's what we did. We yelled Omaha real out at the line of scrimmage and called a Fable play, man.
That's funny. Yeah, man. I'm excited to see what Anthropic throws now. ChatGPT's now the rumors of 5.6, and it never stops.
It never stops.
I don't know where.
Who knows, man. So I think we're talking about beginning next week doing like a multi-series. Putting out for 4 or 5 weeks. I think we're still working on some of that, so details, but I think we talk a lot about Claude for the builder, Claude for the developer, Claude for you or me who has a frontline sales background but is now embracing our building. We want to kind of target more of like for an enterprise.
Yeah.
Enterprise.
That's our background. Chris and I worked a lot in cloud adoption, enterprise BI, all of that stuff, and we see a lot of patterns in the enterprise around AI spend, AI usage, adoption,
responsible
skilling,
AI, all of that.
Responsible AI, how to sort of spur experimentation. We'll talk about all that.
Yeah. So if you're in that space, if you care about security or saving money, and you're responsible for an organization, the next month might be for you. Man. Always a pleasure, dude. Any fun plans for the weekend, Sash?
Well, I guess we're gonna watch some soccer.
Let's go. 9 p.m. USA Paraguay. Vamos.
All right, dude. Awesome. Vamos.
Have a good one, man. Always a pleasure. Have a good weekend.
Likewise.
See you, man.